And there's some new rules. You have more time with the team, especially during the summer. Just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's been really good. You know, the summer's been a huge advantage. I think we've had 8 weeks to have the opportunity to work your freshmen out, especially. And it couldn't have been a better time for us because of the situation. Our freshmen are going to have to play a lot more. So we had a chance to really do a lot of teaching, to give them a quick dose of what reality is going to be like starting on Friday. And, you know, we got a very talented young group, 5 new freshmen, well, 4 new freshmen, and then Calvin Noel being the 5th guy. 5 new players that's going to have to play of the 10 scholarship guys that we have, so that's half our team. So, but it's been good. I really like the energy, the athleticism. We're very athletic and very much more skilled than what we've been the last couple of years.
Speaking not only bringing back those 5-letter winners, just how important is that leadership from those guys, because you have so many new pieces that you're going to try to integrate?
Well, the leadership's key, and it started with Keith Clanton. You know, anytime your best player is your leader, that's a good thing. And I think we've had some success over the last couple of years, but we've searched for true leadership day to day. And I think Keith Clanton, through adversity, it'll define you or it will hurt you. And I think through some adversity, it's taken him to a different level as a leader. I think he's been more focused. He's not only focused on himself, he's brought guys into the gym to practice with him. And a true leader is not only what he does for himself, it's what he does for others. I think now Keith being a senior, he's been a huge influence in doing that, and you know, and our other guys have as well. I mean, you know, from Tristan Spurlock to Isaiah Sykes, those guys got to step in different roles this year, and now it's time for them to do that. And they've done a good job encouraging these young guys because they realize we're going to need them as well to get where we want to get to.
What a big decision to do overall for the bench and stay with the team. I mean, to see that guy, to see him leader of the team come back and make that decision. What does that do for the overall just psyche of the team?
Well, I think it's a great statement. I mean, I think one's a great statement, one for Keith. I think in his mother, Gloria, you know, she's a great lady, and I think Keith's always been an Orlando kid. He's always loved UCF. I think now, even through adversity, you know, Keith's mindset hadn't changed what he came here to do. There's so many things for him to accomplish. He's got a chance to go down as maybe the greatest player to ever play here in UCF history in 7 or 8 categories. He's got a chance to be at the top of that. And that's just individually the goals that he can reach. But I think from a team standpoint, he came here to win a championship. And Conference USA, it's never been done here. And we still have an opportunity to do that. And nothing can take that away. Obviously, not being able to play in the NCAA tournament is something that we always strive for. But it's bigger than that right now for how this team can impact not only the now, but for the future.
Does that send a message for Keith coming back to the rest of the team that there is a lot to play for, even though you don't have the tournament there at the end of the year?
No, without question. I mean, we haven't been in the NCAA tournament in 7 straight years. It doesn't mean we wasn't going to go this year. But I think there's a lot of things you return everybody off this team for next year's team. And, we're not playing for the future, we're playing for the now. This will be one of the 10th youngest teams in America that we have this year. But youth is something that we don't talk about because, you know what, Kentucky won the national championship with freshmen. And obviously we don't have that talent that Kentucky had, but guys are going to have to play. Kids aren't freshmen like they used to be because they play more games in the summer than I played in my college career before they even get here in AAU. So these guys are very experienced, and they've been together all summer long, and I think you'll see a much more experienced freshman group, should we say.
What's that next step for Isaiah Sykes? Obviously made a huge jump from that freshman to the sophomore year, now going into his junior season. What are some of the things you want to see from Isaiah this season?
Well, he's a key factor. Last year I thought he was a key factor to our team. He didn't get the credit probably deserved in our league with the improvements that he's made, but he's really worked hard. He's even worked harder than he did last year. He's going to play multiple positions. I think he can be a mismatch nightmare. We'll play him at the point guard, we'll play him at the power forward. So I think we're going to look to play him in a lot of different spots. He understands the system now, what's expected of him. He's been in this league. He's a great competitor. He brings it every day. And he's been a great example on the floor, especially for those guys, and how to compete. And that's the biggest thing I've seen in this freshman group is you got 4 guys who play with ridiculous energy and effort.
You were mentioning you guys are playing all summer. You have the 3 potential great leaders on the team. You have a transfer. You have new guys. How's all the playing time during the summer build up the chemistry of this team? How's the chemistry?
Yeah, well, I think it's good, you know, until we start playing. You know, the good news is we can put back-to-back days together starting on Friday. You know, it's hard when you practice for 30 minutes and then you practice for 40 and then you get 30 and then you'll sim for 4 days. So I think they're ready to play together. We'll look for different combinations. I think the unique thing about this team is it'll never be the same. They could play the 1 could play the 2 could play the 4 could play the 1. We're going to be playing a lot of different positions. So I think matchup-wise, we could be very disruptive, although we do have size underneath to be able to play against the Floridas and in Miami underneath to compete physically. But I think that we are very versatile, which is the kind of team I like.
What kind of role do you see for Calvin Moore? I mean, he's obviously got some experience because of the conference he's out the year. Just some fresh legs there for him. He's the guy that's really good off the ball.
Yeah, Calvin can play a lot of positions. I think Calvin's strength is he can flat out score. He's a guy who can get his own shot. He can fill it up. He can, be one of those guys who could get 20 in a half. He's very talented offensively. He's been out a year. It's going to take him a year to, a little time from setting out. It's always a little rusty when you don't play coming in at Christmas. But I look for him to come in and blend in and give us a scoring punch with his experience. He's played in the Big 12 at Oklahoma, and he's a great worker, one of the best workers on our team. He brings a lot to us defensively as well as offensively. We can really guard the ball and bring some great toughness.
What are the plans for that point guard spot? Because, you lose AJ, CJ goes and plays with his dad. Is that just a little bit of a concern as you enter the year, trying to figure out that rotation and where you go with it?
Yeah, you know what? It's been a concern. I know we had Bromsa here the last couple of years, but we had to sit out the first of the year last year, and we were trying to figure out who to play there. But I think we got to do it by committee. Obviously we have a freshman in Daquan Walker who I think is very talented and is going to play at the point. But Isaiah Sykes can play the point. If we have to run the offense through Keith Clanton, we can do that. So we may have to play 2 guard front some nights. I think it's just all based on who we're playing and what the pressure is on our point guard situation. But I feel good enough with the talented guys. Calvin Newell can play the point some. He did that in high school and was very successful. So we got a lot of guys who can play there. I'm not real worried about that as much as putting the right guys on the floor.
With the youth, are you more open to playing some freshmen, some meaningful minutes this year?
Our freshmen are going to play all 4 a lot. A lot.
What do you talk about just how you've seen Keith's game grow since you've been here, and what how much further can you help him grow this year?
Absolutely. Well, I think the biggest thing I've seen Keith grow is one, he's changed his body. If you look at him now, he's 6'9", 250. And, his body fat is very low. He's really improved himself condition-wise. 2, his skill level is really improved. I think he, don't quote me, he took 15 threes his freshman year. My first year, I think he took 45. Last year, he took over 100 3-point shots and was our leading 3-point shooter last year. And this year, he could be in that role again. But I think he's versatile. He can face up. He can score. He'll lead the break on transition. I don't care. It's what he does. He's a player instead of just being a post guy. And I think that's given him an opportunity and will give him an opportunity to play at that next level.
What's your message to the team this year, just about kind of what the season can be for you guys?
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot of things. It's always, no matter what the situation is, even the one we're in now, we always talk about winning the conference championship. I mean, if you win a conference championship, then you have a chance to do everything. So that's not changed. You go return all these guys except one, Keith Clanton. He's about the team, and he knows that the reward will come for him down the road for doing the things that he needs to do. Winning is how people come and see what's happening. Everybody gets opportunities when winning occurs, and I think that there's a lot to play for. You got some great games here at our place this year. The toughest schedule we've ever played here in the history of the school. We got Miami here. We got South Florida here. We're bringing in a team in Middle Tennessee State that won 28 games and has everybody back. We went to the NIT last year. You got Belmont, who's been in the NCAA tournament 5 straight years, coming in here with everybody back. We go play Old Dominion on the road. We play Florida on the road. We're playing the toughest schedule that we've ever played, plus our conference. I mean, you got Memphis, Marshall, UTEP, Southern Miss. I mean, you got some very good teams that are coming in here. So a lot of excitement. I think, this year we won 16 games last year, the most wins we've ever had in the history of the school at home. And to be able to follow that up will be a great challenge with our young guys. But I think the good thing is, hey, we're building not only for the future, but also to watch this team grow this year.
Coach, you're starting the season with renewing the rivalry of the war on I-4. Mm-hmm. Some of these kids haven't been around when that used to be big. And
sure.
Might not be a conference game this year, but how are you guys approaching it?
Yeah, well, I think, one at a time. It's the old coach cliche, but I think that, with our guys, I think that's good for our fans. We played that game for our fans, and obviously for our players as well. We want to play against, as good teams, but have a chance to get great respect for Stan and what he's done out there. They had an incredible year last year. They got a very good team this year. To open up their new facility out there, which I hear is beautiful, it's a great opportunity for our team to go in there. And I want these guys to grow. As we said, we have a young team. To play a challenging schedule like that at Florida, at South Florida early on, will be a test for us, but it's not where you're at in the beginning. As we've seen a couple of years ago, we were 14-0. It's where this team finishes. We're putting some building blocks for the future here, and that's what this is about. We could have played a weak schedule in the circumstances, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make our NCAA tournament with our schedule, with who we play this year, and for our fans.
No concern at all that the James Harden-like beards can slow down Keith Clanton and all this.
I hope he can play like James Harden. Okay, that's why we're letting him keep it. So if he's an all-star, he can win a gold medal. We'll be in pretty good shape.
So you got the home and home this year with South Florida. Next year it's a conference game. Correct. I don't know if you guys have discussed your scheduling formats. I know there's been talk of playing 18 games. Do you anticipate South Florida remaining a home and home opponent once you join the conference?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of discussions during those meetings, and one of them was to play everybody at least once and to have 3 rivalries. And obviously South Florida would be the one for us. Who the other 2 would be, I'm not sure. Maybe Memphis. But I think that that's going to happen with that game being so close by. I would be shocked if we didn't have them as a home and home for the future.
You have 3 of your 4 leading scorers returning, Sykes, Spurlock, Clinton. Any comments or mention about No Marcus? You got anybody really big who's trying to fill in that role?
Well, I think the biggest thing for us, we've had to have certain individuals score for us. Marcus was one. They had to do that for us last year. And Keith, and if we wasn't getting that, we were hoping that third scorer sometimes was Isaiah Sykes. But I think the thing I like about this team is we can do it by committee. We have Matt Wins who could get 10 or 12 points. You got, you got Calvin Noel who will be coming in off the bench, or not coming off the bench, but coming in here in December that could score for. We have a lot more guys who have the ability to be able to score, and I think that's when your team gets very good. If you stop Keith Clanton, Isaiah Sykes could beat you. You got other people. Casey Wilson's taking another step. Look for him offensively to really be a huge influence for our program. He started coming on late last year. Tristan Spurlock, had that transitional year. Had a great summer. He was the MVP of the Kenner League up in the D.C., Maryland area, which is full of pros and guys that are playing at ACC schools. So he made huge strides this summer. So there's a lot of pieces. Not many guys. You guys the right guys. And I think that you'll see our team now through our system, year 3, with those upperclassmen. And I think that we'll have more of a scoring role other than one guy having to score for us.